All right. Hey, guys, this is Frederick, founder and publisher of Saturday AM, and this is our new YouTube show. It is called Author Comments, and the idea is that we get a bunch of our friends from the entire Saturday AM universe together, and we talk about a couple of things that are happening in the industry and the news area. And we then go from there, and we actually have a chance to have folks give their thoughts on a couple of the big things that are happening in the industry. So thank you for coming to our first episode of Author Comments. This will be a YouTube exclusive show. We are simulcasting this, given the importance of the information we're unveiling tonight, to Twitter Spaces. So if you have a chance to check out Twitter, please go to twitter.com/Saturday_AM. Tonight, we're going to reveal some information, of course, about this year's March Art Madness 2022. It's our 7th annual global art competition, and this is going to be probably our biggest and best ever. We also have some great voting we're going to do on being able to look at some awesome artwork from the Draw This in Your Style events that happened recently with 3 of our creators who are here tonight. And we're also going to talk about some news that's happening in the world of anime, manga, and comics. We're going to get your thoughts on all of that. So we're pretty excited. Hopefully you guys will have a chance to enjoy tonight's live broadcast on Twitter Spaces. And of course, you're able to catch the full video presentation of this on our YouTube channel in the very near future. With that being said, I want to reveal our day's guests. We have some awesome folks here tonight. So first and foremost, we have the always lovely Jackie Rindy. How are you doing, Jackie?
Hello, I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. Jackie works on a lot of the stuff. In fact, if any of you are a part of March Art Madness this year, you're gonna have a chance to meet Jackie. But Jackie's involved in a lot of cool things that we do throughout the year. Next up, we have Val Sarin Ribbity is her online name. You probably know her by. She is the author of an upcoming series we have called the Otherworldly Travel Agency, which is part of Saturday Brunch. Val, how you doing tonight?
I am doing great.
That's good. That's good to hear. We're really excited for the upcoming series. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Next up, we have Pop Sule Fall. Pop is the creator of Oblivion Rouge, which is one of our series that airs on that runs inside of Saturday PM magazine. Pop, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing pretty good. How's everybody?
Doing very good. Doing very good. It's good to hear. Glad to see you're here. And of course, we're going to talk about Oblivion Rouge, which has a graphic novel coming out this summer from Saturday and Corto Books. So super excited about that.
For sure. Sure.
Awesome. All right. Next up, we got Michael, the creator of Michael Monitor Comics, the creator of Change the World, which is a series that runs inside of our new web manga experience called Saturday Afternoon. You can find it and all the other titles for free on a website we own called Pilot Manga. And Michael is here. How you doing tonight, Michael?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. It's a pleasure. Michael, of course, aside from doing Change the World, also has a very popular YouTube channel that's really starting to blow up called Monitor Comics. That's called Monitor Comics, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Well, then we're looking forward to that. If you guys have a chance to check out his YouTube channel, please do so. It's really, really good. And the last person needs no introduction. You guys all know the one and only White Manga, most popular creator here at Saturday AM. Apple Black's one of the most popular independent mangas in the world, coming soon into some brand new graphic novel formats. Creator of course, a very popular White Manga TV YouTube channel. White is here. How you doing tonight, White?
I'm doing okay. Can't complain too much. Hopefully everyone else is doing the same level or better.
Awesome. All right. Well, we're really excited to have so many amazing people here. We've got, again, folks from all over the community that is Saturday AM, the world's most diverse manga anthology. Again, this is a new show we're doing called Author Comments. It's going to be airing on our YouTube channel exclusively. And again, the idea of the show was to basically give a lot of our creators and staff a chance to get together, hang out, and answer questions, as well as look at things that are happening in the industry at large. And there's a lot of things happening right now. let me first start by saying that, of course, Saturday M being the world's most diverse manga anthology, started the whole diverse manga movement in 2013. We certainly care a great deal about diversity and representation, and so our hearts go out to those individuals being affected by the just needless war happening right now in Ukraine. We are very, very just hearts go out to everyone involved in that conflict, and hope that it can get a peaceful solution very, very soon. But authoritarianism sucks, folks. So that'll always be our stance: is freedom is for everybody, representation is for everybody. So, with that being said, let's get on to some news that is happening in the industry, and there's quite a few things that are happening. I do want to touch on a few things and get, of course, feedback from our amazing panel. On was that there's a lot of classic anime that is coming back, or classic manga that is getting brand new anime. Right off the bat, the three that I know of, there's probably much more than that, is there's a sequel coming to Zatch Bell, which is a manga series that had a popular anime back in the early 2000s. Rurouni Kenshin is returning. We've also got news that Urusei Yatsura from the wonderful and amazing Rumiko Takahashi is getting a brand new anime adaptation. And last but not least, Bastard, which is a manga that had a very short-lived anime. It was a very popular manga that ran in Shonen Jump, even though it is very, very adult. If you guys have not seen Bastard, it's pretty adult. What do you guys make of this? What do you guys make of the idea of classic manga or anime coming back with new material for this generation? What do you guys think about that?
I think it's great, especially with the new material stuff. A little familiar with Bastard. Not that I've seen it, but like I feel like I've maybe seen a poster here and there. But aside from the other things, of course, you know it. You're a million years old. But
Yeah.
for me, all the other stuff is new to me. So even though it's being remade for new audiences, it's completely new. They probably don't care as much that it's a remake, aside from the fact that it's a remake. And then for those who know what it is and are familiar with the original content, this is just nostalgic in some ways for them to relive that, but also probably a little fun for them to see how the new world takes to it, and maybe see some of the new changes that are coming with it. So overall, it's good because more content also shows that investments are still being made in this space, and opportunities are still here. So overall, fun. I'm sure everybody has something to love about it.
Do any of the rest of you guys know about these classic anime or manga?
I heard about the Zetchbell one. Zetchbell came out. Well, I'm 21, just to state that. So Zetchbell came out when I was very young. I remember playing the GameCube game for it. I haven't personally seen it, but I think it's really cool that it's getting a remake, especially for a newer audience, like White said. And animation's come a long way since back then. Like we've seen it with new Shaman King reboot. Like how cool they can make these reboots. So I'm very excited to see like Zetchbell be brought back.
So just to be clear, I know some other people have some comments, but Zatch Bell is actually a sequel, as I understand it. So it'll be a manga, and it's a sequel manga from the original. But yes, it was very popular. I think it was one of Shonen Sunday's like most popular series, I believe, at the time at least. But does anybody else have any comments about that? Anyone else looking forward to any of the classic anime?
Yeah, just like you were saying, I loved Zatch Bell. Like when it was on Tsunami, it used to come on Tsunami like all the time.
Mhm.
And yeah, it just kind of ended. So like I'm really excited. Like you said, like with animation now, it'll be really amazing to see like the sort of effects they'll be able to do with some of the power-ups. I especially love the power-ups. It seemed like it was like a JoJo, like a baby version of JoJo or something like that. But I love Zatch Bell.
There's been some rumors that Kachiko Hitman Reborn may come back. There's been some activity happening on their. I think they had a social media page that got created, and maybe a web page that got created. What I'll say is that 'cause I forgot about Shaman King when White brought it up. I was like, oh yeah, Shaman King. And one thing I will say, because I've been watching Dragon Quest: The Adventures of Dai, and I really love that. I really love that anime. And the one thing I'll say about this rebirth that's happening is that not only does it have better techniques, obviously, and technology, and just more sophisticated storytelling and such, so they can make the stories maybe better where they weren't. But I think what I really like is the fact that at the end of the day, they get to complete the story because a lot of these anime maybe never finished the story. Maybe they got too close to the stories that were being told, and as opposed to Naruto and Dragon Ball and One Piece and Bleach, where they kept throwing in filler, some of these classic anime just they didn't do the filler things. They just cut it. They just stopped and didn't get canceled because of rating. Just stopped because they were out of material, and maybe the creator didn't give them the authorization to continue. So I'm actually so that really excites me, if nothing else, that we just get a chance to see some of these stories told from start to finish because they don't have any reason to not tell the whole story. Like they can tell it from start to finish without any real issues. And it's been enough time. They don't have to like try to rebrand it the way Full Metal Alchemist did. They can just kind of let it go and just tell one complete entertaining story. And I kind of yeah, I do think that's pretty cool. Does anyone else have anything to add on this whole thing?
Yeah, that reminded me of Fruits Basket that just got rebooted recently.
Oh, good.
It was so good, and the similar situation happened with the manga because I think it came out in the '90s as well. But when the anime came out, the manga was still ongoing, so they had to do like an anime original ending to it. But
Mhm.
then the manga finished up, and they rebooted it recently, and it was a huge hit. So yeah, I'm excited to see some of these series get like their full ending and be done justice.
Totally agree. Totally agree. You got anything, Val? You want to add anything to that?
I was gonna say you guys took the words right out of my mouth. I think it's a really fun theme that's going on. This trend of bringing back old shows or rebooting them. I'm so excited to see what else comes out in the future.
Agreed. Agreed. And what about you, Jackie? Any thoughts?
Yeah, same here. I mean, I was gonna mention Hitman Reborn being like one of my favorite anime that I'd love to see a remake of because I fell in love with that particular anime growing up as a kid. I also watched like Sailor Moon and I watched a little bit of what was it? I have a hard time pronouncing it. It's Urusei Yatsura, the one that you were suggesting earlier. The new anime looks gorgeous. The just the art style and
Oh,
everything,
first
and
I got Sura. Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
yeah, so really excited to watch that and see how they do it. Because they already made a reboot of Sailor Moon. They already made a reboot of Hunter x Hunter and Full Metal Alchemist. They all had older series, and then they rebooted, and now it's time to reboot some newer series that didn't really get a chance yet, or the manga didn't finish, anime didn't finish, and they just wanted to make more material for it. So really excited to see all of this new anime coming out. It's going to be really cool.
Agreed. Totally agree. I mean, I'm really excited for it. Like I said, I just think it's a great sort of thing that's happening. And again, this is kind of the benefit of streaming, the whole streaming wars that are happening and such. I mean, now you've got so much content that's coming, and we're in a position now to look at all this content and just bring it out because there's a demand for it, and you don't have to worry about ratings and so forth. You can just tell us a good story for the sake of telling a good story. So, um, yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. The next thing I want to discuss was the show Peacemaker, which aired on HBO Max. And this is a bit niche, so some of you guys may not have seen it. I think it's one of my favorite superhero shows I think I've ever seen. I thought it was so good for how it told the story, some of the storylines that it stayed true to for the comics history of the character. If you've ever seen the comic books before, which I doubt any of you have, it was so dead on. Like there were things that they replaced or switched out, but the switches were still in line with what original storyline was. But it picks up from the character from the Suicide Squad movie that James Gunn directed, James Gunn of Guardians of the Galaxy fame, and I really enjoyed it. I have to say, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great from top to bottom. I love the characters, I love the performances. Thought it had a lot of heart. Love the action in it. Thought the superhero parts were really good, and just the deep cuts that they threw out there from comics. If you know the DC Comics history, it was really good. Did any of you guys happen to see it? I take it not many people did, but did any of you guys? I know White saw the first episode, I think. So, if you guys happen to see it, what do you think of it?
I saw all of it. I saw all of it.
Yeah,
I thought it was interesting. I thought it was good. I do I do think, a
I
lot
think
of,
that at the
and
beginning, the intro sequence.
yeah, I skip it all the time. But I mean, that's not enough for me to, poo-poo the whole thing, right? And I
Yeah,
and I, and I s- I saw the intro sequence the first time, and that was 100% the last time I saw it. And I know that people liked the intro sequence, so that's
yeah,
fine.
I like
You know
it.
what I
I
mean?
like it.
I saw a lot more love for the intro sequence than, cringe,
Mhm.
But for the actual content, I thought they did a good job with where, especially, where they were heading with the story. I mean, do I think is it my favorite superhero TV show? No. Is it in the top 10 for me? No. But I enjoyed it. It was good. Some of the jokes landed for me. I think John Cena did a better job than I would have expected as well.
Mhm. Yeah, I thought he was really good. Much
Yeah,
better than I thought he would have been, yeah.
yeah. And I think just overall in the role, and I do like the fact that he I think maybe he sees the potential in it, and I get the energy and the vibe that he's giving it his all with the marketing and just eh, getting that peacemaker energy and really owning it. The other people on the show I think did pretty good, and I'm not as familiar with the original material as you would be, again, because you're a million years old. But the I did like some of the changes that I know were made, like with the was the side character Vigilante. I do have my little gripes here and there with the show. Like sometimes I feel like the show would just come to a halt for jokes. But
I thought they
at this
flew it pretty well, actually. That's the part where I thought it actually that was a part that I really
Mm,
liked was how it flowed. Because when he
yeah,
would jump into the jokes, like, it was so immediate, it was so, like, sudden,
yeah,
and
I
it
feel
just
like sometimes some of them landed, but then some of them I felt to me fell out of place. But I do like I like that they try to also form a cohesive unit with the team overall. So
Mhm.
I highly recommend the show. I would I recommend you watch it. It's definitely one of the better things that have come out from this whole DC universe thing that you're building. So I'd recommend it to most people. It reminded me of The Boys a little bit,
Sure, sure.
just a little bit actually. Yeah, it's less like The Boys than I thought it was going to
Yeah,
be.
I think that's what I was getting ready to say. I've never watched The Boys. From what I've seen of The Boys, I think this is less cynical.
He did.
I think The Boys, it sometimes seems like they hate the superheroes, and I think this one, like, James Gunn clearly has such love for superhero
Yeah,
comic books, and it comes through. Some of the name drops he does, you're like, holy crap! Like, I mean, the fact that he would even like bring that out, and then like kind of the juvenile stuff where Peacemaker would like make fun of the other superheroes, like that was again, like if you've ever been a fan of these characters, then you get the jokes. You get the joke
okay.
of Aquaman and stuff. But
I mean,
whereas
I
boys,
mean, I got
the
the
boys
jokes. I don't have to be a bajillion to get the jokes.
No,
At
no, no.
least some
I
of
meant
them.
like with the boys though, like it's very pointed. Like the boys, like I mean, like their Aquaman type character is really like disgusting. You know what I mean? Like they don't like there doesn't appear to be any love for and if you've ever read the comic, then like the boys, like there's no love.
Yeah,
Like it's meant to be just a nihilistic deconstruction of the superhero genre.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right.
I
Anyone?
just took a look. Oh,
Go ahead.
sorry. I was just gonna say I just took a look at the opening. Oh my gosh, I love it. It seems so eclectic. Like that's something I honestly I love, like really eclectic, just outside of the box stuff. This is like a show. Like I literally just looking at the opening, I'm already like invested.
I
Like,
love the opening. When White talked about it, he and I were talking about it at the very, very beginning, and I really hadn't watched much of it. And I was kind of surprised when it happened because I started like we sort of started watching the show. Like they basically do the thing where they kind of give you like what they call it the soft open. So like things happen, and then they
mhm.
go into the title sequence. And so like in the very first episode, like it's just so weird. The beginning of it's just so strange and weird that when it launched into the opening, I thought it was like a dream sequence. I didn't think it was even real. And then like they did it the next episode, I was like, oh, okay. And I loved it. I thought it was great. I loved it when I didn't know what it was, but then I loved it even more when I realized that that is the actual opening for the show. So
I was gonna say
I
this
do think,
wild. Oh,
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say this kind of wild stuff. I really enjoy it. I don't know much about DC or Marvel or anything like that, but I feel like I could enjoy a show like this even without like doing my research or the reading beforehand.
yes. So again, and I hope people listen to this on Twitter Spaces. I hope they can pick up on that as well. Like Peacemaker, in my opinion, is a show that you don't have to know about DC Comics. You don't have to be a giant superhero fan. You can easily get into it. It's got a pretty straightforward story. But again, yes, just like any piece of entertainment, if you know the material, then there's a little extra layer of like excitement you get from it because it really plays on your nostalgia and your knowledge of the universe. But for the most part, the story was really straightforward. It has some really good character dynamics in it. And as White said, and I totally agree with that, I thought John Cena was really good. Like he was surprisingly good. Like he was really, really good. But the other actors were good too. I thought the main black female lead character, I thought she was fantastic. I thought the guy that plays John Economos was fantastic. Like his whole arc was really good. Like I thought it's really good. Like I think people will like it. It is very violent though. So I'll just say up front, if you're squeamish, even though the violence is somewhat comical, if you're squeamish, then that might be an issue. But it is pretty good though. Jack, I see you got your hand open. What you got?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, have you guys seen the trailer for the Moon Knight? I believe it played during the Super Bowl. It was
It
like a
looks it
commercial.
looks good.
Yeah, so the Moon Knight show is coming to Disney Plus. Moon Knight is a same way that Peacemaker is kind of an obscure character in DC Comics. Moon Knight is an obscure character for Marvel Comics, but he's going to get a big TV show with a big actor, Oscar Isaac's in it. I saw the trailer. Yeah, I think it looks great. I mean, right now, to me, I got to say, whereas I love the Marvel movies, I haven't been as in love with the TV shows. I do like the TV shows, but to me, like the TV shows always have a great build up, and then they kind of go down. Like they have a great build up, and then they kind of like lose steam, in my opinion, towards the end. And that's my only challenge with the Marvel shows. But I am looking forward to Moon Knight, and if the rumors are true, it's going to lead to a lot of other parts of the Marvel universe. A couple of the characters that are deep cuts in Marvel history, but are characters nonetheless that we'll probably see. Like Werewolf by Night is rumored to be a character in this, so possibly even Blade. So we'll see. But I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, and by the way, Moon Knight is considered the the Marvel's version of Batman, like in a really, really, really poor version of Batman, but still. And so it's just very interesting. It's called counter programming, kids. When Marvel brings out Moon Knight TV show the same, I think, week that the Batman comes out in movie theaters. Like that's their way of kind of like trying to blunt the Batman effect because they want to see if they can't pick up some love from Batman. So that part will be very interesting. Is anyone else looking forward to Moon Knight?
Well, I
Let me
mean, what you
just
said was really interesting. I didn't know that it was kind of based off of Batman.
Well, he's kind of like a Batman type character in the Marvel universe. So he's
Yeah,
he's got a
exactly.
cape. He's got these things that he throws that are just like the batarangs, except they're called I think they call it the scarabs or something like that. He has a ship that he flies around in, like the Batwing. I mean, he wears a cape. He's got a cape. A few Marvel superheroes have capes, but he's got a cape. He's a crime fighter. So there's a couple of things about him that makes him very much Batman. And I don't think the character's ever had a successful comic book run as long as I've been alive. So again, he's that type of character. But Marvel right now is hot. So if they can make a movie about the Eternals, and they can make an Ant Man, then they can make a TV show about Moon Knight. Why you gonna say something about the show?
it's a great way for them to make something popular, as you mentioned before. Even content like Iron Man wasn't as popular as it was until the movie dropped. It was popular, but it's not as popular as it is today,
Right.
until the movies really took off. So, and sometimes the movies can tweak things about the history, and then that would just be the norm for everybody because the movies are or the live action content is going to be consumed the most, and
Mhm.
Disney Plus is big. So I think it's also an opportunity to change the popularity trajectory of the character as well. So like everybody else, I'll give it a shot for sure.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. No, I'm definitely gonna watch it. I've watched all the Marvel shows, and I'm like I said, I have not like loved all of them, but I've certainly watched all of them. I think it's good old fashioned TV in the sense that you have to watch it every week, and it tends to have a little crescendo to it, a build up to it, and whether or not it sticks the landing has been my issue. But still, I enjoy the ride. So yeah, looking forward to that. Okay, so anybody else before we move on? All right. Okay. So again, guys, this is Author Comments. For those of you listening on Twitter Spaces, this is a brand new show we're doing on YouTube. You will see this full video on YouTube later this week. But tonight is our inaugural episode. We hope as the show continues, it'll be a little different than this. But the general idea of the show is to bring together a group of our favorite members within the universe of Saturday AM, and they have a chance to talk about topics that are happening in the world of anime and manga and comic books. And we hope to have some of you guys as fans and guests as well be a part of this at some point in the near future. But for right now, this first episode tonight is meant to kind of bring together the general concept, and likewise to have a chance to do a big reveal, which is the 64 artists who will make up this year's March Art Madness 2002. So just in case you guys missed it, those of you who were on our Twitter Spaces, tonight's special guests for our first episode are Jackie Rindy, who is one of our main staff members. She'll be working a lot on Saturday AM's March Art Madness this year. We have Val Sarin Ribbity, who is the creator of the upcoming The Otherworldly Travel Agency for our Saturday Brunch manga magazine. We have Pop Sule Fall, the creator of Oblivion Rouge, which is a big series inside of Saturday PM magazine, and also will have its Volume 1 graphic novel debut later this summer. We have Monitor Comics, who has a very popular YouTube channel. He's also the creator of Change the World, which is a series running on our Saturday AM Saturday afternoon line of manga web comics, which you can read for free on our Pilot Manga website. And last but not least, we have the one and only White Manga, creator of Apple Black, which is about to have a graphic novel, a brand new graphic novel version available this summer, as well as a volume 2 later this year, courtesy of Corto Books and Saturday AM. And White, of course, has the always popular White Manga TV YouTube channel, which you guys haven't checked it out yet. You should. So they're all our very special guests tonight. Now, three of these folks had a really cool draw this in your style art contest, and it had a lot of amazing people be a part of it. So tonight, we're going to be reviewing the top 3 of Monitor Comics, Change the World, Draw This in Your Style, the top 3 of Pop Sule Falls, Oblivion Rouge, Draw This in Your Style, and the top 5 pieces of art for Apple Black's Draw This in Your Style. The winner of each one of these will receive a special package from Corto Books, who is our partner on our upcoming graphic novel program. And we're going to reveal those. Now, if you're watching this on Twitter Spaces, obviously you're not going to be able to see the artwork, but not to fear. We're going to certainly name the creator's name and give you as much detail about it as we can as we review it. So we're going to start first with Michael Monitor Comics. Michael, I'm going to pull this up for us to view here internally. Obviously, the folks on Twitter Spaces can't see this, but I'm going to pull this up and do a quick screen share for you and our folks here in our chat. And what I'd like for you to do real quickly while I'm doing that, while I'm pulling these all up, is I'd like for you to tell everybody about Change the World.
Okay, cool. So Change the World is my series in Saturday afternoon. It's about a young boy named Mateo who finds a magic sketchbook in his attic, and whatever he draws inside of the sketchbook can appear in real life. And so, like, the premise of the story is, can art change the world? So yeah, I hope you can check it out.
So Change the World, folks, very cool story. Think of it kind of like Death Note, but a bit more open, not quite as dark and sadistic. But really cool, involving a magical sketchbook, and it's got some great characters in it. Of course, it's got the fantastic artwork of modern comics if you've not seen it. And you can read all the chapters for free at www.pilotmanga.com. And Michael, how many chapters are currently available?
3.5. The half is from the Christmas special. Chapter 4 is coming soon.
Awesome. All right, folks. All right. So Michael had a draw this in your style. There were how many pieces of artwork did you ultimately get, Michael?
I did not count, but I think it was close to like 30, something around there.
Okay, so Michael had a lot of folks show up with artwork for his draw this in your style. He selected the top three, and I'm going to reveal the name of the top three, and we're going to discuss each piece of art and give a vote on it. So, and this will be kind of the process that we'll have for March Art Madness. So, with that being said, Michael, this first one is called this from a young man named The underscore Anton underscore art. So THE_Anton underscore art. Why don't you tell us? Why don't you start us off and tell us what you think of this?
Yes. So when I put this challenge up on my Instagram, I was mostly looking to see what people could create with Mateo. So the theme was draw the character drawing something in his sketchbook. So everybody like drew different characters or monsters or creatures coming out of the sketchbook. And what I like about this one is these creatures are more like fantasy. Like there's like dinosaurs here. There's a really interesting color palette going on with like this gray tone or brown tone, like sepia feel going on right here. And I really like the energy of this piece and the wholesomeness. Like this captures like a child book like story kind of vibe. And I feel like would change the world's like themes of like can art change the world and like growing up, that I felt like this captured like a beautiful moment from Change the World.
Yeah, I agree. I think this looks like a storybook. I mean, this reminds me of what's that thing called Where the Wild Things Are. I mean, it's really, this is really beautiful. Different characters up there. It's got this really kind of just really vibrant, even though the colors are more muted, so it's not quite vibrant in that way, but it's just got this kind of vibrant feel with the creatures and the way that the colors kind of just give it this kind of otherworldly appearance. The pose of Mateo, the creatures. I mean, just all of it's just really. It does remind me very much of Where the Wild Things Are, but it just does feel like something you see in a storybook. So I really, really love this piece. Let's see, Jackie, what'd you make of this?
Well, actually, I think this is the first time I'm seeing this. I agree with what everyone says. I think it's very whimsical and it's charming, and it tells a story. It has all of these different characters, and the compositioning is really good. So, I think it's a really good piece of art for sure.
All right, we'll get one more opinion on this one. Pop Sule, what'd you make of this?
Yeah, I think it's really great. I think the colors and that like sort of purple really make it feel magical, like the light colors, and it makes it feel like the image is like floating. Well, also the animals are floating, so it like amplifies it both with the color, but also with the image itself. So it makes it exciting for sure.
Agreed. All right, next image is from Peachanel. It's Peachenelle. And so we got Peachanel, and let's see here. What did you make of this piece? What did you make of this piece, Val?
When I saw this piece, I loved it so much. I think the tools on the edge of the drawing, like kind of like moving your eye towards the center with Mateo and this like giant cat mecha. It's like it's so fun and bright, and I don't really think that there's any other entry similar to it. So I think it really made it stand out.
Very cool. Yeah. And what did you make of it, Michael?
Yeah, this is like the complete opposite of the other one. So this one has like a really vibrant color palette, really cool use of scale, like Mateo being so small and the mecha being so big. Lots of cool techniques here. Like in the middle, when you like look where the fog is, like compared to the mecha, it like fades into the background a little bit. I think that's really cool. Like there's so many cool techniques in this piece.
Awesome. All right. Well, like I said, we're just gonna do a few people per entry, and then everyone can obviously vote on the final entries here. So that works out there. And give me a second here. Let me pull up this last artist here. Here we go. All right. So, White, what did you make of this piece?
um, Pretty energetic. I always appreciate when artists step out and try to do something that really pops, dynamic poses, things they probably know deep down are difficult, but you still go for it. And
Mhm.
that's how you kind of get better over time. And I think this is really colorful. I think it captures the character. It looks like the character while still showing off your own unique approach to drawing, your own art style. Very dynamic stuff. I like all the colors. It's very saturated. Normally that would kind of distract your eyes a little bit, and your eyes kind of going all over the place. But because of how dynamic the character is drawn, Mateo still manages to pop and stand out from the piece overall. I like the detail. A lot's going on, but still feels in tune with what the series is about. So good stuff.
Awesome. Okay. And then what about you, Michael? What do you make of this?
Yeah, I really like the composition. So like you start in the top left with Mateo's face, and then you move in like a spiral position down through the drawing. So like you see all these creatures and the text coming out, change the world, and the penguin coming out, and you move all the way back into the background. So I think that really helped with making this really detailed and busy piece not so busy because you can see everything if you go in that spiral position. Um, but yeah, overall, really beautiful piece. Love the colors. Love like the style of the animals and the creatures drawn. Um, yeah, great things in this piece.
All right. So, folks, what we have here is we've got three pieces of art. We have this piece that we just talked about, which is Vandal. I don't know if I said the name. It's Vandal Martian. So it's VANDELMARCHEN, one word. That is the artist that we just discussed here. He's got a beautiful piece here where the main character is Mateo's kind of floating in a world of art that he's created, and it's got some really it's going for some psychedelic visuals, as White said. It's got some really sharp colors to it. We had the first piece we saw, which is the THE _Anton ANTON _art. And this piece looks kind of like a storybook. It's simplistic, but it's got real emotion with the way the color sits and the way the artwork flows. It's a really, really nice piece. So love this. And this is the second piece. And the third piece was from a young artist named Peach in L. So it's peach like the fruit PEACH, followed by an EN and then ELLE. And this one features kind of like a mecha with our character Mateo inside of it, and the artwork of the mecha or the image of the mecha starts to kind of break apart a little bit. As if it were being, as if like the colors of it were being kind of put on top of it, but also kind of being like pulled away. So it's an interesting concept, really interesting concept. Why don't we just go around the horn then and get some votes here? Just all I need to get is this piece worthy of being the top piece um, of this initial little Draw Us in Your Style event that Change the World has done. These are the top three. We're selecting our favorite of the bunch. So I'll give the name of the title. I'll show it on the screen for our viewers, and then everyone can give a vote of yes or no. Yes to be the main one, no to not be the main one. So we'll begin here with Pete Chanel. How many here is a yes? How many here is a no? So let's start with White. Yes or no?
Yes.
Uh, Val. Yes or no?
I give it a yes.
Jackie. Yes or no?
Oh, it's a hard one. Um,
That's
maybe no.
okay. Popsula. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. And Michael. Yes or no?
Yes.
All right. Well, this is gonna win then. I was going to it was gonna be a no for me, and my vote was gonna go towards Anton _art. What about you, Jackie?
I was gonna vote for the other guy, the
Mando,
Manchin.
Mando Marchin. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
Mando Manchin.
All right. Well, Peach and L gets the vote there, so we'll see about getting a pack from our distributor, publishing partner, Corto Books. So congratulations to her.
Yay.
Yeah. So next up, we have our next artist, which is going to be our next three artists, which are going to be artists that are submitting artwork for Oblivion Rouge. So while I'm pulling these up, Popsula, would you like to tell people about Oblivion Rouge?
Yeah, Oblivion Rouge is a sci-fi take on like a futuristic African continent that is like ravaged by this virus called the Loop. And at the center of it are all these orphans, and one of them is Umi, who is picked up by this mysterious army who's supposed to save everyone from this war and from this virus and from the hells.
Okay. All right. So now, Pop, one thing I'll say is that I'm not seeing the one of these people you didn't put. You didn't link the artwork to any of these guys. You just linked to their profile pages. But so I'm not sure where the artwork is for the first guy. Well, I'll pull it up here, and we can try to find it.
That's weird.
Yeah, give me a second here. Yeah, none of these link to the artwork.
That's my fault then.
Let's see here. All right, I'll go ahead and pull up the ones I've got, and then it's like Cairo is the one you need to find the
Cool.
thing for. All right, so let's go ahead and share this first piece of art. This is from a young person named Ganru _Giro Art. So this is Ganru, GANRYU _Giro Arts, which is spelled GIROART. This is a fellow Senegalese artist.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a really strong piece here, which is right here for you guys to see on screen. It's a black and white illustration of the main character, Umi. Why don't you talk a little bit about this piece, Pop? What did you like about it?
I think it's like how, like in terms of like line work, it's so dynamic because you have like Umi's character who has their own sort of like three-dimensional shapes created by lines, and then you have the lines that are coming down from this like building structure, which are like hitting those lines and making her like pop out like really. And on top of that, the perspective is also like heavy hitter. So it hits all those points like really well in terms of like light, dark, and line work and perspective. So that's why I think it's like top tier.
Awesome. Yeah, no, this is a really strong piece. Let's see who White. Why don't you go with this one? What do you like about this piece?
Just echoing everything Pat kind of dropped. The line work is pretty good and very creative in the way it's delivered to our eyeballs. And the way the lines are curving, forming the volumetric shapes of the character. Like this is a very artsy piece that still encapsulates everything that I think is Oblivion Rouge. It's very Oblivion Rougey, if you're familiar with this series. And so I think this is also a heavy hitter and also very creative in the way it's rendered. You know, you're not going to find that much fan art that's done with this approach.
I totally admit that this is a piece that is just really, really, really different. This is a really extraordinarily different piece and difficult on top of that, and they pull it off. So I mean, it's hard to take this many lines. And if you guys have a chance to pull this up on Instagram, I recommend you do. Again, the artist name is Ganru _Giro Art. Ganru is GANRYU _GIROART. GIROART. ART, one word. And yeah, it's really fascinating because given the fact that it's all line work driven, that it utilizes lines throughout the entire piece, and it's still very separated. Like everything sits on its own. There's no heavy like line work to kind of separate out each image from the next. It's just done through shadow and composition and just being able to draft the perspective in a really nice way. I mean, this is a really extraordinary piece in terms of the attempt and what they were trying to do. Okay, all right. Next up, we have whoops, here we go. Oh, jeez, I have to do this again. Sorry, give me a second here. I'm having to. Oh crap. Interesting. I don't know why this is asking me to do this again. This is strange. A second here. Okay, there we go. All right, so you guys cannot see the screen. Okay, so next up we have Lord underscore Katadwe, which is Kotodwe. This is an artist out of Ghana. Actually participated in last year's March Art Madness competition and Summer Manga as well. Let's see, Pop, what did you make of this?
Yeah, I think this one is like explosive, right? It's like all the lines just are like coming out of the center, and you really feel the reach, like both in the background and also like the physical, like the image of Umi reaching out towards you. So it kind of like breaks that like sort of like wall barrier and makes it kind of more three-dimensional, I think. Especially with the light, I think the lighting is like really great.
Yeah, no, the lighting is really strong. I mean, the perspective, the lighting, just the use of color. It's just really, yes, it's a very dynamic, explosive sort of piece to it. Val, what do you make of this?
I love the foreshortening of the hand. I love how we see Umi is rendered like pretty cleanly, and then the background isn't rendered as strongly, and it really creates this contrast. Even though all these bright colors are in the background, it still like directs your attention to like the center, or I guess not the center, but to their face. I 10 out of 10.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. This is really strong. Okay, all right, and then we're gonna hit our final piece here, and this is by a young artist named Cairo .jpg. So it's AKAIRO .jpg. That is the final artist in these top three that Pop Silly had for Draw This in Your Style. Pop, how many artists did you have overall?
I had like I think 11.
Okay, all right. So these are the top three of those 11. And Cairo here has a very cool piece as well. Why don't we go to Monitor Comics? What did you make of this Monitor Comics?
I really like the stylization of this. It kind of reminds me of like cartoon style from like Nickelodeon a little bit. I think the text is really cool. I'm always worried to do text in my pieces, but like I think they really incorporated it well as like a design element with like this green effect going around it, and it really like pulls the piece together. I feel like.
I agree. I agree. What did you make of this, Pop?
Yeah, I think that was what hit me too, is like the green that's like surrounding her legs like are like mixing with the background, so it feels like, I don't know, like very intense. Like also with the perspective, like it's a stretch of a perspective, and I think that's why I don't know, I set it up as my third because I think it has like some sort of like sketchy, like the foot is a little off, but I think it kind of adds to like the intensity of the spread of her legs. It's like really feel it.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Yeah, I mean, I think there's some issues anatomically with the piece. There's some things that don't quite add up when you try to look at it and think about it, but it's still dynamic. It works. I mean, the main thing is that when you first look at a piece, one of the rules, at least in comic book cards, when you first look at a piece, if you can't point out the things that actually don't quite work because the dynamism of the art is still just touching you on an emotional level, then the pieces, it's hard to tell someone it's not a good piece when it makes you feel something really fun with it. And I think this piece makes you feel something really fun with it. There's a lot of detail here as well in areas that you don't expect, like the boots and so forth. Jackie, last comments from you. Any thoughts on this?
Yeah, my first impressions of this reminds me a lot of like Danny Phantom meets Ben 10.
Mm,
And I really like it. Like the other guests were saying, the green kind of smoke, really kind of emphasizes that. And I really love the text in the background. It's almost kind of like a graffiti style, and I really appreciate that. I think it gives kind of the whole piece kind of a funky flair. So I really like it.
awesome. All right, folks. Again, we're going to choose the best, the image that we think is the strongest piece out of these top three. So let's get to it. We'll stay with this piece here from a Cairo. Yes, no. If this piece goes on, then that's all we need to know. So we'll begin with Jack. Let's stay with you then. A Cairo. Yes, no.
I like the other one. So no.
Okay. Michael. Yes, no.
No.
All right. Let's see here. Val, yes, no.
It's a no for me.
All right. White, yes, no.
No.
All right. This piece doesn't make it based on those very criteria. Then let's go to the next piece. All right. This is from Lord Katadwe. Lord underscore Katadwe. Kotodwe from Ghana. Uh, we'll begin with you, Pop Sule. Yes or no?
That's a yes.
All right. White Manga, yes or no?
No.
Val, yes or no?
Yes.
Um, Michael, yes or no?
No.
Jackie, yes or no?
No.
So yes for me. So this right now sits at a tie. So then we go to the next one. Then. So then we go to the next one. Then. Ganru Jiro Art. So Michael, yes or no on this one?
Yes.
White, yes or no on this one?
Yes.
Val, yes or no on this one?
Is it okay if I say yes again?
Yeah, it was tied in the last one. So
Yeah, I was gonna say it was a tie between this one and the last one, so I'll give it a yes.
okay. Um, uh, let's see. Jackie.
Yes.
All right. Michael. Pop Sule.
Yeah, that's a yes.
Yeah, that's right. I already asked you before. Yeah. I would say no, but it won't make a difference. You can stay by your convictions, folks. You can convince people to go the other way. But yeah, this is a great piece. I'm happy out of one of these pieces. I think those are great pieces out of the way. So, okay. All right. So that is that. Gamru Jiro Art will get a prize pack from Saturday AM and Quarto Books. All right. The
Woo!
the last entries here we're going to talk about before we get to the master list of 64 is Apple Black, which had a draw this in your style. And this one was really complicated one. So now there are 5 entries. And we're going to do 5 because there were so many. White, as I'm pulling these up, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody what Apple Black is all about, and likewise tell them what they can look forward to for the new volume 1 and new volume 2. And in the meantime, I'm going to pull this up, and when we get ready to do the voting on this one, this will just be one commentary per image because we got to make up some time here. So, all right. So, White, go ahead and tell me tell everybody what your thoughts are here. What your plot
Serious.
is. Apple Black, yes.
Apple Black is a shonen adventure action series, and it follows Sano in the world of sorcerers. He's a sorcerer blessed with this powerful arm, somewhat you could say an arm of a god, and he's said and prophesied to be this trinity or savior for the world. But there are certain visions and signs that he comes across that makes him doubt that, and even consider being potentially see he potentially thinks that he could be quite the opposite of a savior for the world, all while dealing with the demise of his father and his father's research on a powerful source that is Apple Black. And things like Apple Black are responsible for sorcery in this world. It's just that as years have gone by, generations have gone by, that power source is kind of diminished, and so what the father was working on is important because it kind of counteracts that, and and so that's what Apple Black's about. And it also has characters in there like an Opal Want More there to guide him. Santa was somewhat of a sheltered kid and he's only out of isolation is when the series starts. So he's very socially awkward, can't really talk to girls, and views the world in a very different way. And I think she's there to guide him, maybe check any privileges or allow him see the world for what it truly is, and help him in his decisions as he maneuvers to figure out what his role in everything is. Did y'all hear that?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. And Fred, if you wanted the Instagram links, I also put that. But this is fine.
All right. So yeah, I mean, I didn't see the Instagram links on here. Do you know them? If I can pull them up, you can talk.
I put them in the chat where everybody else's is.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, then I will bring it up here then, and we can look at it from that standpoint. Then, just give me 1 second. You guys probably hear my
Again,
in the background. I apologize because she's all over the place right now. She is.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can't really hear it, so it's fine. Also, like Fred mentioned, these books, Apple Black Volume One, will be available it's currently available for pre-order along with Oblivion Rouge and the rest of some of our series on our roster with Saturday AM and PM. They're all available on the website. You can go to saturday-am.com and you can learn about the graphic novels that are coming, including our How to Draw a Diverse Manga book with tutorials contributed by our diverse artists with tutorials that you wouldn't traditionally see in your average how to draw book. So hope you guys go check that out and be part of the ride.
All right, folks. We'll talk about the graphic novels here in just a moment as we get down to our round of 64. But first, we're going to do this draw this in your style vote. And this is featuring White Manga. Now, White, you had, I don't know, how many did you get entries?
Over 310 entrants. Some people entered twice, 3 times, 4 times.
Over 300 entries, folks, for Draw This in Your Style for Apple Black, White Manga. And as a result of that, we have 5 of what I consider the best pieces. We're going to vote on those today to see who gets the vaunted prize pack with Saturday AM and Quarto Group. This first piece is from an artist named Third PHP. That's Third THIRD PHP. And this is a Draw This in Your Style where Sano and I forget the little creature's name. What's the creature's name?
Weeworth.
Weeworth is both kind of just in a really dynamic setup pose and such with the Saturday M logo in the background. So Third already gets my hearty appreciation for showing Saturday AM some love. Let's start off. Like I said, we're going to do one person with this. White will comment on all of them. We're just going to get one person to give their thoughts with this piece. I'm going to go with Michael. Michael, give me your thoughts, young man.
Yeah, this is beautiful. I love the orange in the top background and the blue in the bottom background. I think that really helps the drawing pop. Very dynamic poses, really cool techniques used here, like for the fire compared to like the motion blur of Weeworth's hand in the front. Great for shortening. Yeah, all around 10 out of 10 for me.
Very good. Okay, White, what about you? What did you make of this piece?
Yeah, I thought just to echo everything Mike just said, same thing, really cool rendering, really captures the essence of the characters as well. Nice camera angle, nice coloring, all it looks like a really cool trading card too. So yeah, this is a solid entry. This is actually out of this was his fourth this is one of his 4 entries. And overall picking a top 5 was ridiculous because there were a lot of really cool entries. So if you made it in the top 5, it's really like a tight margin because there were really solid entries. But yeah, that's my thoughts on these. In fact, the other ones he had were also to this degree. It was difficult to pick which one I would even use. But yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, and they said, obviously all these are really strong. The one thing I will say about this piece I liked was just I loved just I love. There's one thing about art, especially fan art, when you're talking about people's characters, and that is when another artist can make your characters their own, meaning that they bring themselves into it, and so it's your character, but it's being depicted in an honest way, in a stylish way by the other creator. And so I think that's this right here just has like there's a lot of dynamism that is clearly this artist's sort of capabilities, and it just adds a new dimension to Sano and we were. So I think it's a really cool piece. Love the little energy sparkle as well on the wand. So really cool piece overall. All right, next up we have the next piece on this list, and it is someone named Duff underscore art. So that's Daff Daff Duff Duff. That's one word underscore and then art ART. I'm gonna go with Jackie on this one. Jackie, what'd you make of this piece?
I think the use of the lighting and the blues really like stand out to me. I think it makes it, you could really see the magical energy kind of coming out from the Sano's weapon. And I love how he's writing on it like he's a surfer. I think it's really cool. The artist really did a really good job with the special effects and everything. So kudos to him or her.
Mm. Why would you make of this piece?
Um, another solid entry. Being creative with the wand as well, with the writing it like that. I gave them enough reference, and it's always nice to see people do doing some research, I guess. And so there's a nice pose showing off the arm as well, and a really dynamic pose. People always struggle with drawing hands, and you draw it enough times, you won't shy away from it. You have fun with it. And I think there's a lot of fun in this, especially you can check out the carousel flip through. You see more iterations, and that was kind of what this was about. And I think people had fun with it. It kind of shows here. I like the blue tint and everything. I like the energy coming out of the wand. Solid entry through and through. They're very dynamic pose.
Definitely a very dynamic pose, and I agree with Jackie. The special effects are pretty amazing. Okay, next up we have this piece here from Mr. T. I believe it's Mr. T. Bro. That's T as in Tom, B as in Barry, R as in Robert, O as in Oscar, W as in Wilson, underscore art. So everybody does always do the underscore art part. And this is a really interesting piece here. I'm going to go to Val on this one. Val, what'd you make of this?
Oh, I like the lighting, how it's like coming from the back, and you can actually see that. I forgot the term for it. Like the diffusion of the light from both sides of the body, because since the light is coming from behind, it's not just one area. I I yeah, my brain is not working right now. I like it. I think the pose looks really good. The details are really nice, and I like the way that the sky is rendered.
Hmm. Why would you make of this piece?
I thought thought it was pretty solid. Very natural, organic pose of this, you could say, god tier type looking character coming down, which is an evolved state of Sano that everybody's taken a liking to and enjoyed depicting. Coming down from, you could say, the heavens, and you can tell with the light and the way the hair is flowing. Overall, rendered very well, and I like the experimentation with the coloring, coloring in the background. It's basically, it looks like a scene of this figure descending or flying or something, and menacing slash making with the way his hands are positioned. Maybe you want to worship, whatever the case may be. Overall, I like how it's rendered, dynamic coloring, really cool drawing overall from top to bottom. Uh, Good stuff.
Yeah, I didn't think about the background. It is a beautiful piece all around. I agree with Val 100%. Though those backgrounds extraordinary, and the lighting is just really, really next level. So, really strong piece from T Bro underscore art. Okay, this next piece is from a young person named Rob Core. That's Rob Rob Core, Core. That's one word, folks, and then it's an underscore. Rob Core. Let's see here. Pop Sule, what'd you make of this piece?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I think it takes the concept of like apple black and really kind of like puts it in the forefront, literally with like a black apple. But I think like it kind of reminds me actually of like Avatar: The Last Airbender when like Aang has to walk into the sphere and become like the ultimate Avatar state dude. And this is kind of like has that same like it's evocative of that like Seno is like walking into or like into this power, and you can see it with like the figure ready to close in on that. So it has like this like kind of epic. It feels like it's moving, with the light and the lines. So
An interesting point. Yeah. What did you make of this piece?
I appreciate the attempt to. I think the artist is pretty good, and I always appreciate seeing my character in different styles, and so he really went for it here. I like how all the subtle speed liney things are guiding your eyes. I like the painterly approach to it. I think the rendering is pretty solid. I've always wondered about, like, even I have not settled on, just because it's apple black doesn't mean, and I mentioned fruits, doesn't mean visually I'm going to be very literal with what they look like. However, if I did go down that path and it came to a point where I was showing like physically showing what apple black was, this wouldn't be too far off if I went down the fruit route. But regardless, it's always interesting to see what people are thinking. The way the characters themselves are rendered, Santa in the classic chapter 1 costume, and then the Rhodes in the back, I think is rendered very well. Anatomy is pretty solid. Everything looks great. The coloring behind the speed lines, right? It all came together really well. And I think the artist is pretty dope.
All right. Okay. Well, then our last piece here is by AFDS underscore BM. AFDS underscore BM. And this is the last piece here. I'm gonna give my review on this. I think this is really extraordinary piece, man. I've seen this piece several times, and I just really, really, really like this piece. I thought that I think everything about it works. I think the composition works. I think the pose works. I think the setting works. The color works. I mean, the atmosphere of the piece in terms of kind of just like putting Arsano in a position where he's kind of doing something mundane, but we get a lot of personality from him. Um, Again, I think this is by far my favorite piece. I mean, just like not even a question, this is my favorite piece. But what did you make of this, White?
Everything you said, solid. This was really good. Again, care with the background, care with the character. The way the character is lit up in this setting is pretty solid and organic and natural. Again, like I said, a very mundane piece, but you can still get the essence of the character here. Um, yeah, overall pretty solid. Organic pose. Even the wood in the background, the window, the lighting from it. Maybe it's winter time, and then maybe there's a fireplace inside the bottom right. Right. There's a lot to go over here. Even now the apple black is put together, you can kind of see a Sano within the lettering. And
Mhm.
if you go through the carousel, you zoom out a little more. But yeah, I think this was pretty solid. Great job.
Agreed. I think this is a really amazing piece. I just want to give a big shout to this young artist and all of these young artists who produced work for the Apple Black Draw This in Your Style Challenge. So out of 300 folks, people, we got it down to the top 5 as selected by White. And now we're going to select the top winner, and we'll then reveal the prize for each of these winners. So with that being said, let's go back down and run through these. So we're going to start with third PHP. I'm just going to do a simple yes, no. You guys tell me if it's a yes or a no. So let's see here. Jackie, yes, no.
No.
Val, yes, no.
I give it a yes.
Okay. Um, Monitor Comics, yes, no.
Yes.
All right. Let's see here. What do we have here? Sorry for my dog making all this noise, folks. Jackie, yes, no?
Oh, I already said mine.
Oh, I thought it was Val. Val, what about you? Yes, no? Sorry.
I gave it a yes.
Oh, so Jackie gave it a yes, Val gave it a yes. Sorry, folks. Michael gave it a yes. All right. So Pop, yes, no?
I
What's
said
the-
no.
Yes.
You said no, my bad. Okay. I'm getting old, folks.
It's okay.
Jackie says no, and so far everyone else has said yes. All right, and Pop, you said yes, right?
Yeah, I said yes.
All right. Okay, so then let's see here. White, yes, no.
You can skip me because they're all yeses.
Oh Jesus. Oh jeez. All right. Let's see. Michael. Michael said yes. Sorry.
Yeah, I said yes.
Pop, you said yes too, right?
Yep.
Well, let me ask this question: would you guys say yes to any of the other pieces?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's worth voting, but just leave me out because they're all yeses. Don't worry about it.
Well, folks, that's not how this is going to work during March Art Madness. So I know you all. So this is my only negative thing about art is that I know, like I've seen some of these names. I know some of these people have followed and so forth, but this is Saturday AM. Like we're bigger than that, so we can't sit there and play favorites because you like this person or you hope this person likes you. This is real talk here. Besides, these artists aren't hurting for whether or not they win this prize. These are all very talented artists, but you can't try to play favorites with everybody. So you can't say I like all these artists because all these artists are so great. We can't give a prize to every artist. And martial art masses is going to work this way, and life ain't going to work this way. Inevitably, these artists will have a chance to get jobs at big companies, maybe with Saturday AM or Viz or Image or Marvel Comics, and they're not going to certainly sit there and go, oh, but we like this other artist too. You choose when you have to choose. And so I'm going to say again, who is so so everyone here would vote for everybody on this Apple Blacklist. None of you would say no to any of them.
No, I'll vote for this one.
If I go for, I was gonna say if I think about it a little harder, I would probably give my yes, my one and only yes to this one.
Okay, all right.
Same.
Yeah, we were just joking.
So
Yeah,
Pop
joking.
now, and so that's amazing because I think so. Like to be clear, the AFDSBM that doesn't rise to a yes to anybody. Like
It was so close.
Oh
Yeah,
That's-
it was a close call.
Absolutely, yeah.
wow.
I can
go
argue
back.
both.
I can argue. I can argue this one. I mean, to me, this one is by far. They're all talented, but I mean, this one there's so much in this piece that this is just, I mean, straight up excellent. And again, as White indicated, I think some of these folks submitted multiple pieces. So I mean, it's like I'm sure all their pieces are great, but this piece as a singular piece is just artistically to me is the best. If I were going artistic in terms of things that I thought were just like really just try to do something different, I would go with the Rob Core piece because that one is very unique. It's trying something different. But
this is a no for me. A no.
So let me
Big no.
let me click here something. Yeah, that's real courageous of you, Pop Silly. Let's see here. T-Bro Art. So this guy is this gentleman. His piece is a no.
Oh, this is Rob Core.
No.
Visually, you're showing Rob Core.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, there
T-Bro.
we go.
Yes. So this was a no.
That's a no from me.
It's a
Yeah,
no.
no for me. No.
No for me too.
Okay. All right. This piece here from Daft Duff Art.
No.
No.
Yeah, no.
Sadly, it's a no.
Okay.
Oh.
So then now we come back to this piece then. So this is a no.
Yes.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it's a
No.
no.
Definitely a no.
Okay.
As the person that narrowed it down to 5, I was the one that was gonna sit. I wanted to sit this out, but everybody followed me.
Okay. All righty then. Well, third PHP will be the winner of this this event. And obviously, all these artists are really talented. A big shout to T-Bro, big shout to Rob Core, big shout to AFD, big shout to Daft Duff Art, and of course, a big shout out to Third PHP. All these artists did a truly wonderful job, and a big shout to all of them, including the artists who participated in the Oblivion Rouge Draw This in Your Style and the Change the World Draw This in Your Style. So, with that being said, we're very excited. We're going to be sending some arcs from the upcoming Saturday AM graphic novel program to these artists. So, we're really excited about that. And they'll have a chance to get some collectible versions of our coming graphic novels. So, we hope that they will enjoy those. We'll get their information from the various creators, and we'll have a chance to send that stuff out for them to check out and see the artwork and the stories from these upcoming graphic novels. Now, if that being plus they will also receive a subscription for a year to Saturday AM, our global comics app. Now, if that being said, we now want to move on, and we want to get to the big reveal, which is who will be part of the 64 artists for March Art Madness. Now, I'm not going to be able to pull up the art, but when we do the video edit later this week, I hope that we'll have a chance to have the artwork included for these incredible artists. But the list as it stands, I'm going to read the names off here real quickly, and then we will finish things up with just a short, very short question and answer period from you guys. But let's see here. If I've got the artists, I had them. Let me see if I can pull it back up here. I had to reboot my computer, folks. Let me see if I can pull it back up. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. All right. Okay, so here we're going to do. I'm going to present this to our amazing folks that are here in our live chat, and we will then share these. We're going to break these up. So we got 5 people going to go. We're going to do 10. We're going to do 10 at a time, and we'll reveal the 10 each of us individually. So I'm going to start off with Jackie. Jackie, why don't you read for us the first 10 artists, give their Instagram handle, and give where country they are from.
Sure. Let me see here.
It's on the screen.
So our first the first of the 64 artists that we ventured through, and keep in mind this was very difficult. We had like over 500 people to go through, and all of them were very, very talented, so it was very hard. It was me and several other people that were venting through this list, so we narrowed it down to 64. Our first artist is mangaka underscore day, and they're from the UK. And our second artist is Gvanz Illust, and that's spelled GVANZ underscore Illust, ILLUST, and they're from Malaysia. Our third artist is Ryul Art, and they are from Brazil, and they're spelled RYULART. You can find all of these artists on Instagram. And our fourth artist is Mu underscore ON, and that's spelled M and then 3 U's, UUU underscore ON, and they're from Madagascar. And then we have, we have our fifth artist, Klum Mazadi, from the US. Their Instagram handle is spelled CLOOMASADI, and they're from the US. Next artist is Manro Exo from South Africa. They are spelled MANROEXO. Our seventh artist is Chorus Berg, spelled CORRESBERGUE. They're also from Brazil. Our eighth artist is Polly Da Artist, and it's the name Polly underscore DA_artist. They're from the U.S. Our ninth artist is King Masta underscore Mila from the U.S. and it's spelled King, like a king and queen, and then Masta MASTA underscore MILLA. And then the 10th artist is Cyto.krill, and they are also from the US. It's spelled CYTO.KRILL.
All right. Okay, folks, so that's the first 10 out of 64. The next 10 out of 64 will be read by Monitor Comics. Monitor, go ahead and give us 11 through 20.
For sure. You want me to spell them out, right?
If you want, yes. We're going to present these on screen later, but if you want.
Okay. 11 is Ray Deus X from Canada, spelled REDEUSX. Number 12 is Sun.Chapo from the US, spelled Sun.CHAPO. 13 is Val.Art from France, spelled _BAL.ART_. 14 is Sashistar from the US, spelled SHASHESTAR. 15 is Eric Pedrucci from Brazil. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Spelled ERICKPEDRUCCI. 16 is It's Nothing Personal from Canada, spelled IITSNOTHING personal with another L at the end. 17 is Able Illustrations, I think it's pronounced, from the United Kingdom, spelled ABEILLUSTARTIONS_. 18 is Piggy Hammer, spelled exactly how it sounds, from the UK. 19 is Coin_PA from the US, spelled KOIN_PA. And 20 is Aba_Dog from Brazil.
All right. So my favorite name, Piggy Hammer. Very, very cool name. All right. Pop Sule, number 21 through 30 is yours.
All right. So number 21 is Free_Mango Berry from the US. That's spelled FREE_MANGOBERRY. And number 22, Tales of Canon from Italy. It's spelled tales.of.KNON. Number 23 is Rayan_Rec from France. Rayan is RAYAN_RECH. Number 24 is Faro_Draws from Argentina. Faro is FARO.DRAWS. Number 25, Drawn Up Comics from the US. It's spelled exactly as it sounds. Number 26 is Acto.Drawings from Brazil. Acto, AKTO.Drawings. All right. So number 27, Bertsawl_art from the Philippines. That's BERTSAWAL_art. Number 28, Antony Marpekin from Brazil is ANTONIMARPECKIN. And next up, number 29, Nebu.Shiro from France. That's NEBU.SHIRO. And finally, from Jamaica, Design Sunset. So that's Design Sunset from Jamaica.
All right. Okay. Next up, we've got Val. Val, I want you to read numbers 31 through 40. Floor is yours, young lady.
Okay, sure thing. So, number 31, we have Dtiys from Yemen. That is DIOW IZARTS. The next one that we have up, sorry, the screen moved, it scared me. The next one we have up is Curious for Brains from the US. That is CURISFBRAINZ. I suddenly forgot the alphabet now that I'm spelling.
Yeah, I think that's
Huh?
curls for brains. I think it's curls for brains, but
Oh, curls. Yeah, I'm not too good at reading. Okay, our 33rd entry is Third PHP. We just looked at them. That is THIRD PHP, and they are from the Philippines. Our 34th contestant is Tbrow underscore art. They are from the US, and that is TBROW underscore ART. Next up, 35th is, I can't quite, is that an L? Leon Sensei from Nigeria. That's LEUNSENSEI. Number 36 is RBN underscore art 04. They are from Mexico, and their username is everything that I just said, RBN underscore ART 04. Our 37th one is Liz. I'm so sorry. I just suddenly don't know how to read anymore. Zavid. So I'm just gonna spell that out.
yeah.
IIZAVID, and they are from Zimbabwe. Our 38th person is the Anton Art, which is THE underscore ANTON underscore ART, and they are from Costa Rica. Number 39, PF dot illustration from Ireland. That is PF dot illustration. And 40th is Priyanka underscore Lodi underscore 01, and they are from India. So yeah, yay.
All right, White, the floor is yours. Read the next 10, 41 through 50.
And you see they're going to show these, right? So this is number 141. That's Jello Studios from Ireland. So JELLOS Studios from Ireland. Then number 2, let's see, Jello Studios from Ireland. Number 2, Stow underscore low. So that STO underscore LO underscore. That's from, I can't see it.
Yeah, trying to
Hey Fred, I just noticed I think I made accidentally when I was putting this list together, I noticed I put two artists, the same artists. I put Abadog for 47 and then Abadog for number 20.
okay.
My bad.
Okay,
I'm gonna have yeah.
we'll fix that later. Okay. All right, White, continue on. I was trying to make it a little bit bigger so you could see, but go ahead. Sorry.
So that would be Impulstration from Malawi, XVIICPRC from Chile, No Need for Marks, NO Need NEED for Marks, Marks spelled with an MARX from the US, TO underscore TEEOH underscore IM from Nigeria, ABBA underscore dog, ABA underscore dog from Brazil, Hana Hope 101 from Turkey, Hana HANAHOP 101 from Turkey, Lucky 44 star underscore from Canada, and J-Tune from the US, JAYTOON.
All right, folks. And then last but not least here, the very final 14 creators that we have. The Kid Cameo comes in at number 51. That's spelled THEKIDKAMEO out of the US. We have Hector the Artist at number 52. That is Hector, HACTOR underscore THE underscore the artist. They are out of the United States. We have Rob Core underscore. This is another artist from tonight's Draw This in Your Style. Rob Core, ROBCORE underscore out of Mexico. We have Majek Art. That's MAJEK underscore art. They're from the US. That's number 54. Number 55, we have Abra Hamp 09. That's Abra, ABRA HAMP underscore 09. That's number 55, and they're from Puerto Rico. Kayla Dennis Art is number 56. Kayla spelled KAYLA underscore DANIS underscore art. They are from Canada. Number 57, Carasmo. That's spelled CAROSSMO. They are from the Philippines. Number 58, Elzek, who's entering yet again. ELZEC. They're number 58, and they are from Serbia. Number 59 is Kuzo 09K. That's KUSO 09, and then the letter K. Next up, we have, and they're from the UK, sorry. We have Art by Connor, who's from India. They're coming in at number 60. That's Art underscore by BY underscore Connor, which is spelled CONOR. Number 61, we have Gideon Akor. They're spelled GIDEON underscore AKOR. They are from Nigeria. Number 62, we have McKee, which is MCKIEEY from India. Number 63, we have Trey0310. That's spelled TRAE underscore 03, the number 10, and they are from Zimbabwe. And then rounding out our list at number 64 is Venus Draws Art. That's one word. It's VENUS DRAWSART. They are from the US. So a couple of quick points, folks. You saw here 64 artists read by our tonight's team for our first episode of Author Comments. And this is an incredible list coming from a variety of countries. We have countries in the Middle East. We have countries in Africa. We have countries in Eastern and Western Europe. We have countries in the Americas, from Canada all the way down to Brazil and Argentina. This is an incredible list of extraordinary creative talent. And as you heard, one of the names in this list was repeated twice. So we will be adding one additional name to this list. We'll also be adding an incremental 10 people who will be alternates, so that if we have a problem in the very first week, we'll have an alternate who will be able to slide into their place. So for those of you who don't know the way March Art Madness works, it is a 5-week tournament where we bring artists from around the world to compete against one another. That means every week they have to draw one incredible brand new piece of artwork where they face off against one another. And in so doing, they will then be in a situation where if they get enough votes, as we saw tonight with our Draw This in Your Style finale, then they will move on to the next round and they'll face the next surviving artist in their group. This year, we're doing things a little bit differently because normally in the past, we've had the 4 quadrants of 64 featuring the major characters of Saturday AM, those popular series. This year, we're doing it based on the magazines themselves. So you'll have Team Saturday AM, Team Saturday PM, Team Saturday Brunch, and Team Saturday Afternoon. And all these 64 artists, plus the extra artist that is not listed here, plus the 10 artists that'll be alternates, will be divided up into the 4 quadrants. They'll receive their themes, they will produce artwork within the week, and then the contest begins with the first week of full voting. So in terms of dates, later this week, you will see these names on our website, including this video that you've witnessed us recording this evening. The video will have some artwork showing off all these amazing artists. And then conversely, we will have the final list, including the artists and including the alternates. That will be up on the website, and you'll be able to find not just the artist's name, you'll also find what group they are in. Are they in Team Apple Black, Team Saturday AM, Team Saturday Brunch, Team Saturday Afternoon, or Team Saturday PM? Likewise, after that, on Monday, March 7th, you will find the the matchups that each artist will have to endure the very first week, and you'll also find the theme that they're supposed to draw that very first week. So this is how the competition goes, and every week, every Monday, we post the results, we post the new matchups amongst the survivors, and we post a new theme. So you have every reason to pop into Saturday AM's website frequently over the next 5 weeks, beginning this week. Furthermore, this year's event is going to be fully sponsored by our partners at Quarto Books. We're going to be giving away prizes, including paid artwork contract, book copies of our How to Draw Diverse Manga, Saturday AM graphic novels, including Apple Black, Hammer, Saigami, Oblivion Rouge, Titan King, Massively Multiplayer World of Ghosts, Yellow Stringer, Volume 1 and 2 of Apple Black and Hammer, and of course, our Saturday AM Annual 2023, which is going to be a really exciting showcase for some up and coming talent, as well as potentially some artists from March Art Madness. So we're really excited about this year's March Art Madness because we have so many exciting things happening with Saturday AM. We also have, of course, our 150th issue of Saturday AM, which is coming later this year in the summertime. So that's going to be a big celebration event. We kicked off this whole diverse manga movement, and we continue to rock it. Almost 10 years in the game, and we've got our 150th issue. With that being said, I want to open it up to see if there's any questions from our Twitter Spaces group. And if so, we'll happily answer them real quickly. I'm going to give us another 10 minutes max, and then we'll call time on this wonderful first episode of our new show called Author Comments. If you guys have questions, please feel free to post, and I can unlock you so that you can make your comment to our team here who is listening, which consists of Jackie, Rindy, Val Sarin Ribbity, Monitor Comics, Pop Sule Fall, and of course, White Manga. So any questions from our folks here in Twitter Spaces? I think you have to send a request for me to let you speak, but you guys have any questions? Well, we're seeing if anyone has any questions. You guys here in the chat, Michael, Pop, Val, White, Jackie, you guys have any comments you want to make as it relates to everything that's been happening with March Art Madness? You see any exciting names you recognize? Obviously, a few of them were in Draw This in Your Style tonight.
I was gonna say that I noticed that one of the entries was in Summer of Manga last year. They were in the same issue as me.
Oh, who was that?
Tales of Canon.
Oh yep, sure
Yeah.
did. Sure is, yeah.
I'm very excited to see how they've grown in terms of art and just creativity process because I see lots of potential in them. So I really want to see what they bring to the table this year.
Yeah, no question. They're very talented. Totally agree. Totally agree. Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to say, one of the artists I recognize as well, they competed with me when I first, like before I started working with Saturday AM. We both participated in the same round, and we were actually competing against each other in the same round, Karasimo. And it looks like she's back this year. She participated in March Art Madness 2018 with me, so I think that's pretty cool.
That is very cool. Yeah, I didn't recognize the name, so that's really cool. We have our first request here. In person name Storm Rave 92. So we're gonna let them speak here. Storm Rave, can you hear us? You have to unmute your mic, Storm Rave. You there? Can you hear us? Storm Rave, I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Hope I'm not doing anything wrong here. Yeah, I can't hear Storm Rave. Storm Rave, you hoping I didn't do anything wrong here. I can't hear you. You guys, I think, can hear me. Jay, I see you on here. Why don't you offer to speak and let's see if it's something I did wrong or.
you might have to. I think how it's set up is you have to um, set it so where the person can speak.
Yeah, I
You have
did.
to like put the people on the platform. I think.
Yeah, I did that. I made them a speaker. And so let's see. Val, I'm gonna send you a invite to speak as well. See if you get it and if you're able to speak.
You can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Yeah, you guys recognize this crazy man right here, it's Mr. J. Odin.
How's it going, guys? Don't rate. If you're not using your phone, maybe that'll help. I'm using my phone. I wasn't able to do it on my computer to talk to anybody, so maybe that's the issue.
Yeah,
But hope you guys
Twitter
all.
Spaces. Twitter Spaces doesn't allow. It has to be phone.
It has to be. Oh, wow. All right. Well, there you go. And, I unfortunately missed most of this. Be really listening to this as I draw throughout the night. So I hope everybody enjoyed the entire talk, because I will try to enjoy it when I am drawing. So yeah, no idea what to say.
It's all good. I think Storm Red may have gotten her stuff fixed. Storm Red, are you doing you there?
If anyone can hear me, yes, I am.
Yeah, there we go. We hear you now.
First off, how's everyone doing?
Doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm not doing too bad. No complaints. I was just wondering, do you guys have any tips for the folks who registered but didn't make it in?
Yeah, I mean, Jackie and I, Jackie and I were the ones who work on these lists for the past couple of years. And there are a couple of things I think that are always important. The first thing is, and I'm just going to say this because I don't know, Storm Ray, what you submitted, so I can't say that I remember your profile. So there were several hundred people, so I apologize if this doesn't apply to you in some cases, right? But it's meant to be for everybody listening. So the first thing I would say is that please make sure that your profile, when we ask you for your Instagram or your online portfolio, that it is completely open for us to be able to check. Like if you're asking us to come check out your profile and it is in any way hidden, meaning that we have to ask you to be a follower, then that's just a no-go. Like we don't have enough time to try to become your fan just to see your artwork. Like that's not. And again, I'm not saying you did the Storm Ray, but a lot of people do. They do it every single year, and it sucks because obviously we're just not in a position to try to track them down for an opportunity that hundreds of people are applying to. The second thing I would say is that we do look to see what type of artwork you have, and I don't mean to say by quality. Obviously, quality does matter. So, if you're really talented, then that's going to obviously go to the top of our list. And when you're talking only 64 artists, then you're talking about, potentially having 64 really, really talented people out of hundreds or thousands. Then it's going to be tough, and it's going to come down to the quality of art that you have. But I think the biggest thing is diversity of art. And I don't mean ethnic diversity or gender diversity. I mean, like, if you're drawing the same thing over and over and over again, it's really tough for us to see how you would survive in a tournament that's as difficult as March Art Madness. It's something where you have to constantly have different thoughts in your head about how to draw different things. You have to be able to, create different pieces of artwork based on maybe the character design. If we say one week is Flintstones, you have to draw. The next week is Batman. The week after that, it's Fruits Basket or Odd Taxi. Like you've got to be able to have the ability to shift your drawing style to fit the various content that might be out there. You have to be comfortable doing that. Doesn't mean everything is your favorite, but there has to be a level of comfort that you have with it so that we can see that you're making an honest attempt at it. And when we're looking at your Instagram page, if we don't see that you have already that level of diversity in your artwork that you have on your public profile, then we would make the choice, to not do it. So those are probably, to me, the three biggest things: is that do we have access to your artwork? Number one. Number two, do you have like really significant talent? Because when you're trying to pare a list down out of hundreds of people, you're gonna instinctively go to the top people. If the top people are really really good, then it's just gonna crowd out anyone who we think maybe doesn't quite hit the level of that artist. And then last but not least, are you trying different things? Are you showing us that the the fortitude to last 5 weeks by drawing different things each week? And that's going to come down to, are you already doing that on the artwork you have on your page? So those would be the three major things. Again, there's some nuance there. I'll let Jackie give her thoughts real quickly. Jackie, you want to say your thoughts real quick?
Yeah, I'd like to point out because there was me and several other people going through, this big list that we had, um, and I'm assuming my teammates can agree on this, but I noticed on my end that a lot of artists that who didn't qualify or meet what we were looking for, they a lot of them had only sketches. So, they didn't have finished pieces of art. So it was hard to kind of judge, okay, well, what would a finished piece look like? What would the quality of that be? So a lot of those artists who only had sketches in their portfolio, unfortunately, we had to turn down. Another thing too is a lot of artists did not really have any color. There were a lot of artists that were using black and whites and maybe a little bit of color here and there. But for those artists who had a lot of pieces in their portfolio and had a lot of different colors and stuff, we could see how they were using it, and we could get a better sense of what their final piece would look like because they had a variety of different pieces. So we were just kind of looking for all around, making sure that first of all, you could draw anatomy decently well. You're using color, you're using black and whites. You're able to draw different kinds of things, like Fred said. And if, like, also what Fred said, if your profile was private, that would be a no-go. But I would just say those main things were what we were looking for overall.
Yeah. So does that answer your question a little bit, Storm Rave?
Yes, it does, and that's it's kind of a relief. The only thing I'm worried about is if my profile was hard to find. If that ended up being the reason, if that ended up being a problem, I would cry.
Yeah.
Everything, anatomy, coloring, flexibility, versatility, no problem. I can miss this incredible it, no problem. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's again, this year, Jackie and some other folks worked on the list. I remember going through a few of them, and at the very beginning, but then I got a little, I got a little busy and couldn't get through everything. But Jackie and them did an amazing job going through them. But the tenets of what I established years ago when I created this whole thing, Jackie, and the group followed through with that same principle. And so the general idea at the end of the day still, and I'll say one more thing too, I think that neither of us mentioned, which is that as you saw on the list that we just revealed, we had people from Brazil, people from Malaysia, people from the Philippines, from Zimbabwe and other African countries, people from Ireland and Serbia. And what that tells you is that we are committed to diversity. So another part of this too is that judging by your accent that you're American, but we have a lot of Americans already in the group. And so, like I said, just it's at the end of the day, it's like, are there special things about your artwork that's submitted? Is there, your profile and your artwork that's submitted? Is there something special that we can kind of pull out and say, oh, this is really, really unique. This is really different. This is really talented. Because the reality is that, again, like, we want to be fair and try to give opportunity. When you only got 64 places, that means that the more entries, and this year we had a lot of entries, the more entries, just they just don't allow there to be a lot of room to experiment. Because you want to try to get people in from other countries, and you want to try to give them a shot. You want to try to get different people in as well from different backgrounds and such. And so again, it's tough, but I just checked out your profile, and I think I do remember seeing it. And you obviously have a lot of talent, so I would not. We have other events and other things coming up, so I would just stay tuned. That's all I can tell you.
Thanks. That really means a lot. Thanks.
Yeah, of course. All right. Does anyone else have any questions before we hop off? We're here with White Manga, Jackie Rendi, Val Sarin Ribbity, Pop Sule Fall, and Monitor Comics. Anyone else? We have gone over, so they're going to wrap it up here in the next questions. Is there another question before we wrap up?
I think we should mention how we were gonna contact the list of 24 like via email.
Yeah, I mean I mean we're going to post it on the site, but then we'll send a note out to those folks afterwards.
I saw someone put their hand up in the chat.
Okay, yeah, I don't see it. Normally it has a request. If there's a request listed. Folks, you can hit the request button, or if you've got a chat, just let me know. I'll be happy to call on you if you've got a question. Okay. All right. EP for Coon, I think. Okay. You have to unmute your mic, EP for Coon, sorry. EP for Coon, there you go.
Can you all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hi. My name is Eric Pedrucci. I see a lot of people have some trouble trying to speak my Instagram handle. I'm from Brazil, and I was one of the people who was on the list of the 4 participants on this Arch Madness.
Cool. Congratulations.
So, thanks. I was kind of surprised to see some people from Brazil other than me. So, but it just shows how much Saturday ends open to other countries and give them a shot, like you mentioned earlier, Fred.
Yeah, I mean, we get a lot of fans. I think White can speak to this, but I know we've had fans from Brazil for a long time. I mean, White, you've got a lot of fans from Brazil, right? White.
I'm not too can't really speak too much of that. Not 100% sure, but a couple people.
Yeah, some of my friends here in Brazil also watch Whitey's YouTube channel. It helped them a lot to further develop their art skills. And yeah, it's really entertaining. So I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Since it's my first time participating in this contest, I was kind of worried. What are the next steps? Send art, seek some information, so just I can really be ready for the next weeks.
Well, as Jackie just said a few minutes ago, we're going to send out an email to all of the finalists, the 64 finalists who will be participating in this year's event. We'll also be posting your name and information up on our website in the next couple of days. So you'll be able to see it on the website. And it'll also, when you see it, it'll also tell you what team that you're on. We will also set up we tend to have a private group chat, and we'll be setting that up so you guys can have a place where you guys can go and get information throughout the event, and that'll be monitored by Jackie and a few other people. Sorry about that. So there'll be so you guys will have plenty of places where you can get information, and the key thing will be to just make sure that if you've got a phone or a computer, just make sure that when we contact you via email that you're checking your email. So the email that you put in the system when you registered is the email that we have to use. So that's what we'll be reaching out to you on. So please make sure that you are checking that regularly. Likewise, if you follow us on social media, we'll be posting a lot of stuff on social media regarding when we're sending out emails and such. But the key thing is just to pay attention. It's one thing that I've said for years is that the rules are the rules. We don't change the rules for any particular creator. So the rules are the rules. The key thing here is just to make sure that you are excited, that you're determined to win, and Yeah, that's great. That's great. We're giving away an Apple iPad this year, of course. iPad Pro, we do it every year, amongst other great prizes this year. So the key thing is just to, if you really are in it to win, then the key thing is just to be focused. Because when things start up, what you don't want to do is you don't want to be in a situation where you are wanting things to be different and you're spending time worrying about things not being exactly the way that you want it to be, as opposed to just competing with the way things are. Because the people who just put their heads down and start working on the stuff that they've got to do, they always tend to be the ones who go the deepest, to go the furthest. If you've got questions, obviously Jackie and her team will be there to answer them, but for the most part, the general idea is that it's just like working in comic books. If you're a professional comic artist, you've got a deadline. You got to hit the deadline. You got to have your creativity to bring to the table, and you've got to be able to put all that together quickly, present something really cool, and then see if the audience responds to it. In this case, the audience will vote either for you or the person you're competing against, and so you want to try to match what you think the audience is going to want out of the theme that you've been given, and then that's where you put your best effort.
I see. Well, thanks for responding me. I'm just going to sleep now because it's really late here.
Yeah.
So
it's late here too.
Yeah, I kind of excited, but let's see. I'm ready to compete with the other amazing talent artists.
Awesome. This is gonna be a tough year this year. So looking forward to it, EP4 Coon. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right. White, last thoughts. Any thoughts about this year's tournament? You've seen some of the names, you know some of the artists. Any thoughts?
I know some of them in the sense that we've seen some image like the Tales of Canon being part of our previous events, and then some of them who did these some of our draw this in your styles. One of them who's assisted me in a few things, but aside from the one that has assisted me, I don't really know them, but I'm familiar with their work, and so there's a lot of talent I've seen, and excited for what's to come.
Awesome. All right. Michael, any thoughts from you?
No, just to repeat what everybody else said. Really cool diversity this year. I really loved all that, and I'm glad to see that some people that entered my Draw This in Your challenge were also on that list. So good luck to all of you.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. Jackie, any thoughts from you, young lady?
Yeah. So regarding the first person who who was asking, kind of what our requirements were, what we're looking for. If whoever's listening to this, if you weren't chosen this year, don't worry. We got a lot of other awesome events that you can register for. Our next one right after March Art Madness is Summer of Manga. And I believe we're going to have registrations for those like April and May. And then the event will officially start in June. And that event is an event we do every year, and you get to pitch us a comic or a manga that you have. And everyone has a chance to do this. So, if you weren't chosen for March Art Madness, don't worry. You can register for our next event, Summer of Manga. If you have a comic idea, that's the best time to pitch it to us and hopefully try to be a part of the Saturday team and get your comic serialized. So hang tight. We got you.
Wow. All right. Jackie went deep on that one. Pop Sule, what about you?
I just think, it's amazing to see this list already. I think that's I think this is my first time participating in, talking about March on Madness. But I think it's really amazing to see a list with just so many different countries and people. And it just shows you the reach, right, of Saturday AM. And this is such a great way to be able to share your talent and have an opportunity for your work to be seen by so many different kinds of people that it's absurd. And yeah, I mean, that's what I try to tell people, to sign up for March Art Madness. And yeah, I'm excited to see what people do. It's a perfect moment to show us what you got. Show the world what you got, for real.
It's not your first time, Pop Sule.
It's my second time.
Eat while we're talking. It's never your first time. This is the time. I know. I heard you smacking. I know you eating some. What are you eating this time?
Yo, I'm eating General Tso's chicken. Yo, that's my.
Yeah,
That sounds awesome.
That's my go-to every time.
I can tell from the way your mouth says certain like that sounds like that rhythm of me eat is that's some
I
chicken.
tried to finish it before, like I was like getting ready to swallow, and like
Yeah, there was a couple extra smacks in there, and I thought you don't smack. You don't smack like that unless it's got some chicken in it.
Yeah, that's chicken. That's straight chicken right there.
Yeah. All right. Val, any final words regarding March Art Madness this year? What are you excited for this year's tournament?
I'm so excited to see all the themes and how everyone draws them. I'm so excited to see all the people do this stuff and see how their art journey goes because, I mean, I got my start with Saturday AM through March Art Madness. So I'm excited to see if more people join us.
Well, that is true. You know, that is very true. I mean, every year new talent that we get come from March Art Madness or Summer of Manga, as Jackie talked about. So, this if you are looking to get into comics through Saturday AM manga titles, then this is certainly a great platform for you. So, I just want to thank these great folks for taking time out on a Sunday night to do this. Like I said, we unfortunately got a little delayed this weekend. I've had some stuff going on, so I'm very much in debt with these talented young people to take time out of their schedules to do this. I also want to thank you guys for taking time out of your schedule to listen to our broadcast and help us announce these 64 artists with some excitement. We're going to have a really exciting year this year, folks. There's a lot of things happening around the world, but we hope to keep things positive by offering people some hope in form of cool artwork, representation, and some really great entrepreneur stories as you look at these creators, hopefully find their voice through Saturday AM and become big names in the near future. So we're really excited for what the future looks like. I'm excited for the team that we have here, and I'm excited for you guys being fans of ours. So thank you all so much. Please stay tuned again for future episodes of author comments where we will actually have this type of panel setting and we'll just spend the whole hour talking about topics that matter to you and your fandom. That being said, my name is Frederick Jones, founder and publisher of Saturday AM. Well, thank you all so much for attending. Please don't forget to pre-order our books. You can go to our website and learn all about Saturday AM, the world's most diverse manga anthology, at www.saturday-am.com actually just that's it www.saturday-am.com, and you can find all the links to all the cool things we're doing there. Thank you all so much. Talk to you guys soon. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
All right.
Yeah, have a good night.